Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt from RC Overload, and welcome back to part 2 of the Apex build series. Part 2 is going to consist of a couple of suspension upgrades into it, and making the height of the vehicle a little bit taller. So in order to do that, really, I've had to put in the Summit long... Excuse me, I forgot. Long Trail. Yeah, the Long Trail rockers. And real quick before I show you guys that, I have, as you guys know in the last video, I already put together, I was going to do the whole rear end, put it on the car, get it all set ready to go off camera. I didn't want to bore you guys by doing that, and there's plenty of videos on how to do that already on YouTube. And I'm partially glad I did not show you guys, because it took me an hour to put that rear end in. Nothing was lining up correctly. I had to actually take the differential out at least 5 times because the differential was sitting in crooked, and I didn't find out until after mounting it onto the car when everything was all tight and put together. So that's the rear end. It's all set. We're basically back to its stock original form, you guys. Except this time, as you can see, I have the Summit rockers in here, the Long Trail ones, which are actually just a hair longer than the stock ones that the Revo comes with. So it actually allows these control arms to sit lower, as you guys can see, especially in the front. This is about right there is where the Revo was sitting before. Now it's sitting even lower. So now once we mount that tire up, we get a lot more ground clearance underneath, and a lot better suspension movement when we're going over those rocks or those difficult obstacles to get through. And these are cheap, easy rockers to put in. Now I'll put the part number of them down below, as well as a link to the Traxxas website to where you can get them. So the upgrades today will consist of, actually, now that I remember, a previous upgrade, the GTR shocks. Okay, these are the aluminum housing shocks with the believe aluminum shafts, or whatever Traxxas calls them. That's the other upgrade. I was trying to remember and I couldn't remember before. But we're going to improve on those a little bit and kind of shine them, make them pop a little more. Alright, so what I've got to do that is Hot Racing's aluminum shock kit. Okay, what it's got is the base that the spring sits at. It's got the adjuster ring that's aluminum, and it's got the caps. Okay, now they also have, if you guys can see, little O-rings and the plastic pivot joints. Now the O-rings actually go on the joints, the pivot joints, to actually hold them in place with the aluminum, and which I'll show you guys that here later on. Now we're also going to be installing the orange spring rate shocks, which are the 1.76. As you guys can see right there, 746. These are the orange springs. Now I'm testing these ones out, seeing if they're going to work well. I'm also putting in 60 weight shock oil. Again, this is my base stuff that I'm starting off with. After I put everything in, if I realize that the suspension's just not soft enough, or it's too soft, then I'll change some things around at that point. But because I don't even know the weight of this vehicle or how it's going to operate with all this other stuff that's getting put in, I kind of have to wait for it to be all assembled to get an idea. So I need a base point. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I'm going to put my GoPro on my head, and we'll get back to it. Uh-oh, I'm out of gloves. It's okay. One glove works. I like using gloves. Keeps my hands a little bit clean doing this stuff. But we're going to mount the GoPro to my head so you guys get that first person view again. And gotta turn it on. Okay. Where's my phone? Because I use that as a reference, because I get that cool display that comes up on the phone with the app, the GoPro app. So I'll get this set up here real quick, and then we'll get going on it. Pour some fluid in, assemble those cool aluminum pieces from Hot Racing on there, and install the springs and then get them installed on the car. So that's part 2, improvements on the suspension system. All right, let's go. Okay, so first thing I got to do is I got to grab my 60 weight shock oil. All right, get that over here. Gonna open these up, get this partially assembled and ready to go. So we'll do that now. The first set. Now I am gonna need my knife. Where did I put it? That's the big question of the night. Hey, there's one of them. See if that blade is dull. Come on, chair. Roll with me. Alright, so open this up. That's a pretty dull blade. Didn't even open anything up really. Push these all out. Cool. Shiny. Alright, so one of the first things that I'm going to want to do is, because these aluminum caps do not have those little blue things that came in the GTR shocks, we got to put them in it. Okay? You want the bubble facing outwards. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pick here, just clean that off a little bit, and gently push the blue thing down inside without destroying it. I'll just go around. Okay, cool. So there's one. And we'll take another one here. Okay. Oh, I'll do that. Okay. I'm just being very gentle about it. So there we go. It's sitting in there. Good to go. Okay, so there's that. But now we need to take the plastic rings that are on here, and we gotta, the adjuster rings is what I mean. We gotta kind of pop those off. Just there we go. And then we're gonna put the new ones on. Now what's cool about the new ones is they actually have an O-ring inside of there. And that should actually help. Boy, that's really tight. But once it gets going, it's fine. Yep. Okay, so. Alright, so we'll leave that right there for right now. And then we'll put the bottom one on. No, because I gotta put the spring in. Right? Exactly. So let me, having a little bit of difficulties here. That is really tough, actually. I don't know if I like that. Only because if I need to go adjust it, that's quite interesting. Let me see if I can get something to hold this thing a little bit better. It just may need to be worked in a little bit. It's actually not too bad now that I got a good grip on it, onto the shock. I've already drained the shocks out, as you can tell. Okay, so there's that one. That one's sitting all the way up. Alright, so actually what I'm going to do now is I'll just put the springs in now, and then we're going to put the base down. Let's just kind of pop in like so. Cool. So there we go, we got a cool little red shock. Nice. Alright, so there's one, which I'll put the fluid in after. And you know what, I'm going to need a napkin. Screw the glove, because the glove ain't really working here. And clean this one up a little bit. grab the bottom piece, line it up, bang, done. 2 shocks built, almost. Now we got to add a little bit of shock fluid in. This is the fun part. Now, this thing does not like to keep a seal, so it's leaking all over it. Oh no! The GoPro battery is dying. Alright guys, well, I'll just do as much as I can here on the GoPro, and then I'll end up having to go over to this camera right here for the rest of today's. I thought I charged this thing. Damn. Must have not. Oh well. Okay, so we're going to pour a little bit of shock fluid in. Cool. There's one. What's awesome about these little tiny shocks, they don't even take much. And then we're going to work them, right? So you got to work them. Get all those little air pockets out. We're just going to keep pumping them up and down a few times, because there's itty bitty little tiny bubbles that are in there. Okay, so I'll let that sit for a few. Okay, we're going to pump. Now this actually feels like a good suspension right here. Like it's tight, but it's also soft, so this might actually be a good starting point. Sorry guys, totally out of the cameras right there. Okay, so let those 2 sit, and then we're gonna start working. I'm gonna do the other 3 here, because my GoPro is really dying. It's kind of flashing at me. Let's see it. Boop boop. Hey, look at that! Camera's popping up repeatedly. That's kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm going to finish up the rear, shut the GoPro off, and we're just going to do everything from this camera. I'm going to readjust it a little bit and finish up doing this, putting it on the car, and that'll be the end of part 2. So, be right back. Bam! Rear shocks. On. Sweet. Gotta love that camera work, or should I say, editing work. So there's the rear. There's the fronts. Looks pretty cool. All red. All functional. Still nice and soft, yet there's some good tension there. So, I'll give you guys a little idea of how the rear is sitting. Front sitting. Definitely a lot lower. So, there you guys go. I have the long travel rockers installed, front and rear. GTR shocks with the orange springs, 60 weight oil in both the front and the rear, as well as some hot racing upgrades to make these shocks really stand out nicely on this. Alright, you guys, well, that was part 2. Just some basic installs, like most of the stuff that you're going to see here. You know what, here, hold on. Hey, what's up? Yeah, wait a minute. Where's my hat? I can't be on camera without my hat. Ugh. There we go. So, some basic install right there. Just a couple accessory options, as well as improving the ride height, really. So the suspension system's good now. We got differentials all set up. And now we're going to move on to... you know, I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. I got some ideas of where I'm going to go next. But I got so many things that I got to put onto this to make it look really cool. So we'll see where we go with that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and I'll see you guys next time on part 3. Alright? See you guys later.